Welcome to the Bar is Loaded. My name is Danny Taylor.
And I'm Thomas Regan.
We've got a special guest with us today, Tess O'Flaherty. Thanks for coming on the show, Tess.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
We've just finished the session, haven't we? It went really well.
Yeah, really
Great.
good session. Really pleased.
Tess has been with me as an online client for about 6 months.
Something like that,
Something
yeah.
like that, but we've been involved for, we've had a relationship for about a year and a half, something like that.
Something like that.
We met at competitions, didn't we?
Yeah.
British powerlifting competitions.
Yeah.
And then I think you just came down to do one of ours, didn't you? Or
No, I've been to
I
your.
can't remember.
No, I've been to your Battle of the Bar.
Did you lift with that, or did you just help? You lifted, didn't you?
I helped this year, and then last year I lifted. And no, I think I've only been to 2 out of the 3 actually. So yeah, I lifted last year and volunteered this year.
There we go.
So you're a powerlifter?
Yes, I
You're a
am.
powerlifter.
Yeah.
For those of you guys who are watching or listening, Tess is a competitive powerlifter. She's also competed in Olympic weightlifting. You might not notice, but Tess is actually in her 50s. She doesn't look it. She's in good
Bless
shape.
you.
She definitely outlifts you if you listen to this. But that's some of the things that we're going to discuss today. It's some of the challenges that Tess may have faced lifting at the age she is, and some of the experiences that you've had, what got you into it. We're going to talk a little bit about your bug thingy. You're
Yes,
a bug lady, aren't you?
I'm an entomophagist.
Entomophagist,
Yes.
no idea what that is, but I'm going to Google that right now.
It's
See what the definition is. Give us your definition.
ento is Greek for insect. Mophagy is to devour.
Entomologist.
Entomophagist.
Entomophagist.
Yes. So entomophagy is to devour insects, which we all did at one point.
It's interesting.
Entomophobia.
Entomophobia,
Is that would be a
The
phobia
fear,
of
there'll
insects?
be the fear of eating insects.
also known as insect phobia,
Yeah.
is a specific phobia characterized by an excessive or unrealistic fear of one or more classes of insect. Have you ever had that?
Never.
No.
Have you been? Have you?
Like they don't bother me, but it's just like,
It's annoying, aren't they?
yeah, get away.
Yeah, bugs are annoying though.
Yeah, flies are the worst.
Like blue bottles in the summer.
Not worse than blue. They only seem to occur in Liverpool as well. Never
Well,
seen them outside of the city.
There's actually, I'm on YouTube, and I think it's called The Flycatcher, and Lash Longwater. If you search Flycatcher, Lash Longwater, I catch flies and I put them into Venus fly traps.
You,
Yeah.
are you famous for this?
Yeah. No. My husband said it'll go viral. This will go viral,
And it didn't.
and I think it's had about 5 likes.
make it 6. Is this on YouTube?
Yeah.
It's going
Hold on, yeah, put it on.
We're gonna put the link for this in the description, by the way,
Yeah.
so you can give it a like as well. What am I searching?
Lash Longwater.
Lash long.
Lash Longwater
That's everything in caps.
and Flycatcher.
Lash long water, fly. I'm just gonna put that and see what else. See what comes up. Okay.
Anything
And I only got 5 likes.
Flycatcher, lash long water, flycatcher, make a genius fly trap.
No.
400,000 views.
No, it's not. No, my fingers are the fly trap.
What, you catch them
I
like?
catch them.
Right, I can't find this video, but send us it and we'll put it in the description
Okay, yeah.
for everyone to watch.
So what, you just like look like Mr. Miyagi and just go like
No, you just sort of go up behind them when they're on the window. You go up behind them and then just
Oh
grab
my god,
them
this is a
like that.
skill, isn't it? I've heard about this now.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a skill.
Yeah, stealth, innit?
My
But
girl
I don't pop them into my mouth because I won't want to eat a fly because I don't,
has to eat shit.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Flies
Flies are important for that, aren't they? Because they degrade.
They do.
Um,
They're needed. They are needed.
which-
And the food for birds.
Food for birds.
Food for
And
birds.
I've seen wasps like attacking flies and stuff as well. So I don't know. Maybe you know more than I do
No.
on that subject now.
I hate wasps.
Okay, if you know anything about that, then leave a comment and we're not going to Google that. Over to the powerlifting and the lifting and the training side of things then, Tess. Another reason I wanted to get Tess on the show was because we wanted a female's perspective as well on things, because it's definitely more, say, mainstream for people to do. It's more common to see ladies lifting weights in the gym now, but 5 to 10 years ago it was forbidden. Like, you would not see any women in the weights area. They'd be all the way on the cardio machines pretty much, or using the resistance machines. So tell us a little bit more about your journey with lifting and with weight training. How did you start, and what got you to where you are now?
Well, what you said is true, because I think I've always been active. I used to teach aerobics, and my life at one point was just aerobics and what have you. And then I once then heard a friend that I worked with, her name is Avril Hughes. I think a lot of listeners might know.
Avril Hughes, why does that ring a bell?
Everyone knows Avril Hughes.
She competes at Battle of the Bar.
She's competed at 72 body weight, very, very tall. Absolutely.
Is she your age?
No.
What is your age, just for reference?
51.
51. You look great.
Thank you.
You do. You're strong as hell as well.
But I watched Av's lift at Into Shape in Colne, and
I know who she is.
Yeah, very tall, blonde, really good looking. Nuts.
Is that where you get it from? She's crazy.
Well, it's us Chester people.
I remember this in Colne in the little box, and like, obviously because it's so enclosed.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she does it as part of a warm up or like every general routine, but the reason why I know her is because she used to make so much noise warming up. Like, she used to be screaming the place down.
She was a vocal lifter, yeah.
Very, very aggressive, yeah.
But so I watched Avs and I just thought, I've got to have a bit of this. And
why were you there?
Because she said nobody ever went to watch her from work.
Okay, got
and she never got sort of support.
So you know
I know from work. So I went to watch her, and I was just like. There was also like little Jammy, incredible little lifter, and I thought I've got to get into this. So I met Avs at the UTS on the Wirral, because that was her gym until I think they banned her for being so noisy. And anyway, so I was lifting, and she said,
"You're loud."
Yeah. And Avs said, Tess, you're quite strong. So and then that was that really.
That's what inspired you essentially to compete, and this is in powerlifting, yeah?
Yeah. Right. So
at this point you'd only ever done aerobic stuff. You've never lifted weights.
I lifted weights, but you don't know sort of what you're doing, and you do sort of 3 sets of 10 of like 5 kilos or something. You just sort of. But yeah, it was mainly aerobics. Anyway, and then. So then my first coach was Jim Blanchflower over in Colne.
Yeah, I know Jim very well. He's the president of the Northwest Powerlifting Federation, part of the British Powerlifting, formerly the GBPF, for those of you who don't know.
But and I went there for quite a while, but travelling Chester up to Colne.
It's an absolute mish. It's just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's sort of South Yorkshire, almost sort of kind of nightly sort of direction. It's past Burnley.
Yeah.
I had to do the M65, which is just horrible. Anyway, so it wasn't sustainable for me to continue going there, because in the winter I nearly crashed a couple of times on the M6, and I thought I've got to find somewhere in Chester. But Chester really had nothing at all. I did lift under Jim's instruction in 2016, and it was sort of my first comp, and I got all the records in bench, squat and deadlift.
What were those records, can you remember?
I think it was 50 bench, I think 80 squat, and I think deadlift was 90, something like that.
Nice.
The deadlift I no longer have. Somebody else has pinched that off me at the 52 M1 category.
So you were competing in the 52 kilo class back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
What weight class are you competing in now? or
Well, I
hoping to
actually
compete in?
cut a lot because my natural weight is 57.
Okay.
So I did cut quite a bit of weight, and I found that really difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I did it actually now, because I did the water loading and all of that nonsense, and never again.
Not safe to do.
No.
It can cause some damage later on in your life.
You don't like that, do you? The water cut.
Dangerous. And it's not recommended either.
No. Oh no, I'll never do it again. Never do it again. So then in 2017, I lifted under my natural body weight, 57 kilo, but I was an M2 by then, and I've got the Northwest Divisional records for the lifts.
M2, so when you say M2, we're talking the Masters age class.
Yeah, yeah.
So that once you turn 40, you become a Masters lifter. The senior age, and this is in the IPF, under the IPF rule, in International Powerlifting Federation, for those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about. You are an open class from the age of 24 until 39. If you're 40 on 1st of January, then you become a Masters lifter basically, and then I believe it's 40 to 49
That's
Masters
correct.
1, 50 to 59 is Masters 2,
Yeah.
60 to 69 is Masters 3, and then I believe it's 70 plus is Masters 4.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't think there's any more classes after that. It really depends on what federation you're competing in. I know there's other federations like the BPU that we're a part of, where there's more Masters classes. I think it goes up to like 6 or something.
Yeah.
And it's 5 years per class. So if you're in the BPU, you'd be Masters 3.
Yes. I think that's correct.
Sounds
Yes,
about
looked
right.
it up, yeah.
Are you staying in the IPF?
I'm following direction of Danny because I'm in his stable now, and I'm going to do my first comp in Rill.
Loads of people doing that, aren't they?
Yeah.
With the whole team going for that.
Well, hopefully, I think spaces have gone fast, so I'm going to have to put my name down pretty quick tonight, I think.
Get on your phone now.
Have you checked the records for the BPU?
Oh, I'm going to smash him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good.
So
You know when you do that, you would automatically, if you smash the record, you go to British, you go to the Body Power Expo, isn't that where it is, the British?
I'll just go with the
BPU.
flow, but
British qualifying,
Yeah.
competition.
yeah,
Everyone who goes should qualify because
Yeah.
the qualifying totals are less weight in the BPU compared to the IPF. The IPF, for those of you who don't know, are kind of like the highest standard, and it's the most common federation that people will lift in.
yeah,
And then the BPU and other federations like the GPC, I think there's a couple of other BPOs, stuff like that. They will have definitely a smaller population of lifters, but still quite a high standard at like world level and stuff like that. But it'll definitely be easier to qualify for British,
yeah.
which is in Body Power in the Expo in Birmingham, if you know where that is. Have you ever heard of Body Power Expo?
No, I haven't. No. Well, I've seen it on the
So you know what it is.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
fitness
on the
exhibition.
website.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I've never been to it. No.
It's great.
Yeah.
That's what actually inspired me to start powerlifting and look into the training methods of powerlifting a little bit more. I remember seeing a 16-year-old kid lift there, and he outlifted most average men on the day in front of like thousands of people, and I was just like, I want to do this. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
And it was because like he was one of the smallest people there, but one of the strongest, like pound for pound, you know, and he was like 16 years old. And I
Yeah.
was thinking, that's brilliant. Like he's outlifting all these fellas who were screaming and like throwing smelling salts up the nose talk and stuff like that.
And he's like, no fuss, lift it up.
No fuss. I think he was a record holder and something. But yeah, so the plan with that is to be able to go and take as many people to the Body Power Expo as possible. They can enjoy the weekend there as well, and it's good to bring their profiles up as lifters if they want to do that. and because we've got a high caliber of lifters at the gym anyway, and they're so used to competing with a high standard of lifters from the IPF, and there's a good chance that the likes of you, I think Pauline, Joe, and maybe a handful of others will all be British champions and get picked for the world squad. So
yeah,
there you go. We've said it now, which means it's got to be.
We've set the bar now.
Set the bar, literally. No pun intended.
What would be your goal in powerlifting then? What's your like ultimate goal? What do you want to achieve in the sport?
There are some squat, British squat record holder would be nice.
Yeah.
But if I get into worlds, even better. But to tell you the truth, this year has been a little bit sort of rubbish for me because after 2017, I then switched to Olympic lifting. And in January this year, I went to my first Ollie lifting comp. This is only after 10 weeks training. And I came first, which was quite a shock.
Yeah.
So
10 weeks training, you came first.
Yeah, in
gold medal. Wow.
So
natural athlete.
But the reason I stopped the Ollie lifting was because I was a member of Primal Gym in Chester, and they had a 15k bar. And in Ollie lifting, females used a 15k bar because it's a bit narrower, shorter, and obviously lighter than the 20k bar used in powerlifting. And the gym just shut unexpectedly. So then I was trying to find another gym in Chester that had a 15k bar, and nobody did. And then I heard about a powerlifting group starting at a gym, and I thought, well, I'll go back to powerlifting. That powerlifting class finished after sort of just 2 weeks, and I was gymless again. So I was faffing about up to about May, trying to find a gym. And then in the end, I joined the Old Hall Country Club and Spa.
What a contrast.
From one extreme to the other, spa.
It's a beautiful gym, but as you can tell, it's not like a powerlifting gym, but the equipment is good. I was a member of there before, and I've always found the people there friendly. It's very clean and great. They've got a lovely squat rack and everything. So I joined there, but I needed to find a powerlifting coach. And as Danny mentioned, our paths have crossed during comps, and I've always found you to be super professional, very supportive of the people that came with you to the comps. And I thought that I'd join you, so I emailed you and said, can I join? And that's that then. So
sounds like a Google review, that, Tess.
Testimony. What was it like then doing powerlifting in like a spa country gym? Like what?
That's nuts.
No, like do people just look at you and go, "What's?"
This is actually one of the
everyone
questions.
should be in the sauna.
Right, this is coming here this morning. I prepared loads of questions for you, and then I've just loaded the software up, and the questions have gone because technology is great. So this was actually one of the questions. Like, how do people react to you?
Yeah.
Because of one, your age. Secondly, you're a female, and it's not really common for, especially in a country club, for ladies to be doing this unless they're, in a group in a certain atmosphere in a powerlifting gym like here. You won't really see it in commercial.
I stand out. Without doubt.
So
I think people hear me before they see me, because I think people who know me and see me in comps, that I can be a bit of a grunter and a screamer, and but luckily I train between 8 and 10 at night, and there's hardly anyone in there.
Right.
So and I think they just see me coming in the car park
and they leave.
And
so walking out the car park like, oh, here she is. Get out.
But the people that tend to train there have got used to me basically.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's fine. I haven't been told. this is why it's bizarre, like with UTS telling Avril to sort of quieten down, and they are known to be a bit of a lifter's
sanctioned
gym.
competition venue.
Yeah.
They've got a platform which is fixed in the middle of the gym.
Yeah, and I go to a spa club and
screaming the place down, and it's fine.
Nobody says anything.
Yeah.
So.
All right then. So what sort of feedback do you get from people there? Does anyone ever come over and say, "Wow, what you're doing there is great," or how do people respond or react to what you're doing there?
Nobody speaks to me.
That's too scared.
That actually speaks volumes, to be fair.
I haven't made any friends.
I think they're intimidated.
Yeah, you should go anytime that someone's in a squat rack out, move now. It's mine. See what they do.
I've arrived.
Yeah. When I'm on the squat rack, they know that they're not going to get it for about 40 minutes.
That's great. That's great.
But no, I must admit, a couple of the lads that work there, the PTs and what have you, they will come over and talk to me, and what you lifting or what have you lifted today, and I like 90k and whatever, and they're like, oh, that sounds quite good. But no, I don't really. I haven't made friends there.
All right, then on a personal level, or family, friends, how do they respond or react to what you're doing? Do they know that you're an athlete and you've been competing in the likes of powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting? The aerobic background, then you've gone into a strength sport. So in 2018, it is more of a common thing to see ladies doing.
Yeah.
But 5, 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't. And people who are older typically won't associate with stuff like that, or are quite old school in the mentality and the way they think. So they wouldn't see it as a proper thing to do. You understand what I'm saying?
I think.
So how would your friends and family respond to you doing the sport?
They just leave me to it.
They understand it of it.
I think. I don't know really. I think if I put my mind to something, I will sort of succeed. And I've always enjoyed sport, so they didn't really think anything of it really, and they just leave me to it. But going to your point about women of a certain age and what have you, there seems to be like a tendency when you sort of hit 40, definitely 50 plus, that you just have to do a power walk and Pilates, which is absolutely fine. Doing any sort of activity is better than nothing.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I would want to encourage slightly older women to consider heavy weightlifting. And the reason for that is as you get older, your muscle mass just starts to deplete, and that's the natural aging process.
Plus osteoporosis as well.
Exactly. So I would absolutely recommend heavy weightlifting for anyone who's sort of 40 plus, because I think that's when you start to really feel your muscles just sort of like depleting.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of train quite consistently, because with the aging process, you're kind of swimming against a tide, because you can't stop the aging process. So in one way, once you hit a certain age, you are just working harder just to maintain, almost, if you sort of see that. So
it's hard to recover as well as you get older.
And you have to take sort of longer breaks to recover.
Yeah.
And I think your sort of bad habits of your youth really catch up with you as well. But it's not irreversible, and if you put your mind to it, you can succeed in the sport. And I would like to see more older women, more mature women getting into the sport.
There are small circles at the moment. You see it like national level, international level. There's 60, 70, 80-year-old ladies who do it now, and it's very inspiring for me. Like, to see these athletes at such an old age, like, still pushing on and like not letting age beat them down. Because a lot of people, when they get to early 50s, will just turn over. You know what I mean? Just roll over and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's it now.
I think with that is as well, like, more even men and women at the over the age of 50. That's when you start getting like maybe like, you know, heart problems, or they have like cholesterol, all that stuff. And
Yeah.
doing more exercise is obviously going to help them further their life. They could add what, 10, 15 years maybe onto their life or something.
Yeah.
And with like arthritis and, you know, stuff like that, and people say, oh, I can't do weightlifting because I've got a bad shoulder or I've got bad knees, but they don't recognise that doing the strength sports will actually strengthen them joints and
No, that's true. It's sort of like a bit of a catch-22,
Yeah.
because it's, you know, I've got sort of arthritic knuckles and what have you, and yeah, it's sort of like they do get painful, but then I'm more pain-free.
Yes.
Doing heavy weightlifting. And also for your posture and everything, you know, it does you a whole lot of good. And also as you get older, with your muscles depleting, we were talking about my mum and how she's now got a tendency to fall. If you keep your muscles strong, and once you start getting to that 60, 70 age group, if you've got strong muscles, you're less likely to fall.
Yeah.
And if you do fall, you can get yourself up.
That's quite common for a lot of older people who who do fall. It's because they've not got the stability, the strength to stay up.
Yeah.
That's all.
And
it
you
is.
need sticks and stuff to make sure that they don't fall.
Yeah.
But obviously with squatting and stuff, it'll help you with your strength in your hips, your legs, to keep you balanced and stuff. So, yeah, I agree with you that
Yeah.
people should be strength training
And
as long as they can.
But as a woman doing sort of heavy weightlifting, and you talk to people and what have you, and they've said to me, oh, you don't really look very bulky. And
There we go.
yeah. And when I say I'm not a bodybuilder, that's a totally different discipline. I do strength training and what have you.
Hard for people to grasp the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
People immediately associate lifting weights with bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It's that common misconception, isn't it?
And you know, you sort of speak to people and they go, oh, you know, I don't want to get too bulky.
Sick of it. Sick of it.
Or I want a tone, that's another one.
Yeah,
That's
right.
pet
Take a
peeve
seat. This is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, I just want a toned body. Well, lift heavy weights.
That's Scouse accent.
Yeah. Seriously.
That was good, though.
I want a toned body.
Can't sound off. Oh, I'm sick of it, innit?
And you know, just one long, nice muscle. But again, I would just say get into heavy weights, and it kills me when I see what I used to do.
Yeah.
Women they've got like 2 kilo sort of things, and they're just flapping about. And I've got to stop myself from going over to them to say, what do you think you're doing? And you know, what benefit are you getting here apart from maybe a little bit of mobilisation or something? And it sort of kills me a little bit, because I've seen some leisure PT trainers tell them to do that, and
I think people are just scared, aren't they, to actually tell you to see what's going to happen instead of doing the 2, but do 8 or 10.
well, the thing is, you have to. There is an element of bravery in the sport. Once you start getting really heavy.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you push your limits. And
Yeah.
psychologically, you're pushing. Like you're like, oh my god, I might not get up here.
Yeah.
But you still try and do it anyway.
And this is why you have to just keep chipping away at it. Get yourself technically sound, to then lessen the risk of, you know, you're tumbling with a heavy weight and what have you. But then
That ever happened to you?
yes.
So, how did you respond? Did it become a fear factor then, or had you kind of, because you'd been there and you'd failed the lift, it was like, right, that's the worst thing that can happen now, so...
It did. It was basically. It was only 60 kilos doing squat, but it was the first time me doing 70 kilos at squat, and it was in a gym that didn't have any safety bars or anything. So I tipped forward where the spotter was behind me,
Yeah.
So it pretty much sort of pinned me down.
Yeah.
And it did hurt my neck. And then I just sort of said, that's it, I'm cutting this session short.
Yeah.
Anyway, next day I went into work and I was a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of the bosses and he said, get yourself to the doctors. He was not happy. And I said, no, I feel fine. And he said, I'm not having you in work after dropping 70 kilos on your neck. So then
That's a fair shot.
Yeah. So, and then the next time I went to the gym, yeah, I stuck to the 65s for a little while. But then 175, and then you sort of forget about it. But
so it become a mental block, but then you just gradually come past it and become
Yeah.
less of a mental block. Then.
yeah,
It wasn't necessarily a strength issue for you, it was just more...
I just seemed to tip forward.
Yeah.
So most probably it was poor foot placement or something, maybe
Yeah.
sort of too wide. or
ankle
something.
mobility or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. So, you're in your 50s, Tess.
yeah.
What challenges have you faced trying to do well in such a competitive sport like powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting, or just lifting in general as you're getting older?
As I say, the muscle depletion and just trying to train consistently, so that can be sometimes a bit of an effort, but not too many, to be honest. Recently, because of like personal circumstances, like I've lost my dad in August, that did floor me. So I didn't train for a little while. But that's not an age-related thing because all of us lose someone we love at any age.
The way it goes, the
So,
saying of life.
Yeah. But I think now that I've got to... Oh no, as a matter of fact, when I first spoke to somebody about wanting to lift heavy, and this was a PT in a leisure gym, he did smirk a little bit, and that did put me off. But once you get to a certain level, I think people just leave you alone, as I am.
When you say smirk, you
So-
inquired about lifting with him, or
No, I said I wanted to get strong,
was
do
he
a bit more
coaching you, or
power.
was it just a conversation?
It was a one-to-one session with him.
Right.
Yeah. So and then at the end of the session,
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, I thought you were going to be a bit of a nightmare, but you're actually quite strong."
Sounds like a bit of a knob.
Yeah. So.
Never judge a book by its cover. If you're a personal trainer and you listen to this and you've got someone like Tess or anyone, female, elderly client, whatever, don't judge them
No.
straight away.
Yeah, let
They
them
can
do
probably
what they
outlift you.
That's the thing as well. Like he probably did he like smirk, like laugh it off, go, oh yeah, she's gonna be a powerlifter, oh yeah, haha, yeah.
I've got a feeling he just didn't know kind of what to do, and possibly he had like a set piece for females at a certain age of wafting these little weights.
Yeah, we said that last couple of weeks ago, didn't we? You need to adapt as a PT. You can't just have one thing for everybody. You should
One shoe does not fit all.
You should have just got rid of them straight away when you
Yeah.
said that.
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Happy
That's
days.
the right thing to do.
That's really interesting. So, tell us, what are your best numbers across for the powerlifts, the squat, bench, deadlift, and for your Olympic lifts, the clean and jerk and the snatch?
For my squat, I've done 95 as my best. But I know I'm going to smash that. I just
we
know
will.
it.
We will.
And I would hope this time next year of getting to a British record, which I'd have to get to 116.
Was that IPF record?
Yes, it is
British
IPF.
powerlifting?
Yeah,
See what happens then.
yeah.
I don't mind if you compete in both. It's up to you, isn't it?
Well, that's the sort of marker I'm looking at, I suppose, is past 115.
If you set the bar high and then compete in the BPU or any other fed, then you can absolutely obliterate all the records, aren't you? Because they're going to be a lower standard, I think. Typically, it's a higher standard in the IPF, so
But I'd like in the competition in Rill in March, I'd like to nail a very comfortable 95. But we'll see.
Triple digits.
Triple digits.
Open on 100.
What about your bench then?
Bench, I have done a 60, not paused.
Doesn't count.
But so 57.
57.45.
Yeah.
Better. That's
Deadlift, it was 110.
okay. Snatch.
My snatch was,
If ever done a snatch, by the way, it's so fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
I think it was 24. And then my clean and press, I've forgotten actually, but I think it was 40.
When you say clean and press, did you literally just strict press it? You didn't do the jerk. You didn't do the push
Oh, the
press.
jerk, sorry. Clean and
She
jerk.
went up there.
Yeah.
Clean and jerk.
Straight through. I wouldn't put it past you, Tess.
No, I think I did have it on my Instagram. It's on my Instagram, and it's the one that I say chops to. And
Chops?
Chops.
What do you mean?
I got it up to I cleaned it,
Yeah.
and then I'm sort of like bouncing it, and I just go chops before I
What
jerk it.
compelled you to say that?
I don't know.
Was it like
Dunno.
like a nervous?
It was like my ki sort of thing.
Chops. That's
Chops.
fantastic.
Uh,
Let us know what your ki is in the comments.
chops.
Whatever gets you going before you leave. Normally it's just a grunt from me. Chops. Do you have chops for tea? I don't know.
I don't know. It just came out chops.
That's amazing. I'm going to speak to our Olympic lifting coach Joe and see what his best cues are for his ki. That's amazing.
But Ollie lifting is very, very.
What
very
weight was it?
difficult.
Sorry for the clean and jerk.
I think it was about 40.
40. Great.
Yeah, can't remember.
What's it like then to be able to outlift people who are like, I don't know, people who are half your age, say? What's that feel like knowing that?
Oh, it's nice when I'm in the country club and spa.
Yeah, and you're the strongest motherfucker in there.
There are some strong guys in there, but the deadlifting sort of 80, and I'm sort of like,
Come on, boys.
yeah, and then I sort of do my bits at 85 and what have you, and it's because I'm quite petite, 50-year-old petite woman that is doing what they're doing.
57 kilo. It's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How do you think that makes other people feel when they see you? And like you say that you're like, you're double their age, say,
Yeah.
and they're trying to lift and get into it. Do you think that they see you do it and they're like, wow, if this lady can do it who's double my age and half my body weight, then do you think that acts as inspiration for people? Or you think that might have
I've no
an
idea.
adverse effect?
I've
Does
no
no one
idea.
ever give you any feedback on that?
No.
No one ever come over to you and
As
said, wow, what you're doing is amazing? kind of
No,
thing?
no.
Well, it is Tess.
I am friendless in that spa.
It's a
She'll
shame.
probably still look at you and go, did you draw inspiration from you? Though probably. They'll probably not go and talk to you, they'll be like, bloody hell, she's quite strong, yeah, I want to.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know sort of
That's
what
interesting.
people are thinking.
Well, we've got about 10-15 minutes left, so Tess, you are the bug lady.
Yes.
Get into it, that's the business name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about that. You eat worms and you brought worms with you.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I've got a lot of questions now.
Come on then, tell us.
Well,
What's this about?
As a lightweight, light bodyweight lifter, to maintain sort of that weight whilst eating lots of protein, I was finding it really difficult. So I just sort of Googled alternative protein sources, and I came across a cricket pasta from a company called Bugsalutely, and
It's a great name.
it isn't it? And I think in usual pasta, protein content is about 5 grams per every 100 grams. Cricket pasta is 20 grams. with every 100 grams. So
Gains.
yeah, and it's so easy because it's just pasta. So you put your tuna on top or whatever.
Get your pasta, get your tuna,
Yeah.
get your crickets.
So
You got the crickets, love.
so on LinkedIn,
Go in the fridge, get some crickets.
well that's
amazing.
kind of what
Tell
I
us
got.
more. This is amazing.
I know.
Why did you speak so much about lifting? I want to know more about this.
I know.
That's great.
So
We need to put an extra half an hour into this now.
100%.
I'll be really quick.
Okay, go.
So on LinkedIn then, I connected with Absolutely, and then through their connections and what have you, the whole insect world just opened out. And then I realised how much protein insects have. They are a very, very high protein food. They've got the omegas as well, omega-3, omega-6, which I think some other plant-based proteins don't have. And then, so just started to buy crickets and buffalo and mealworms.
Where do we buy these things from?
I've just got a load from China, but there's a company in Sweden now, and I'm going to start buying it from
So you
them.
can't go to the shop and buy crickets. You got to order them online.
Yeah, it's all online. It's all
Okay.
online.
How
Right,
much does
so-
that cost? Sorry, how much does that cost?
They're actually not that cheap, but that's because they're not mainstream, and that's part of my get into it mission is to make edible insects a little bit more mainstream.
Yeah.
And I think definitely for lifting community, I think it's just a no-brainer. Because you can have like insect powder that you can make your own smoothies out of.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of companies now that do have cricket powder, protein bars and what have you.
Wow.
So it's starting. It is starting. But then when
Where can people find more information about this? You say your mission is to be able to educate more people on the benefits of this. So
yeah.
where can people find this? Shameless plug.
Where
can we find you?
Oh, me?
Yeah, to get this information. Get into it. You got a website?
Oh,
you got
no, I haven't got a website.
social media?
Instagram
Instagram and LinkedIn.
and LinkedIn.
So your Instagram's Tessie Greenhouse,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And LinkedIn's
So
just
I've been
Tess
calling it all
O'Flaherty.
morning. And LinkedIn, Tess O'Flaherty.
Yeah.
Have you set up a business page on LinkedIn for Get Into It?
Well, no, because I'm waiting for my logo and everything.
Okay.
So it's going to start. And I'm going to start supper clubs, and I also will be posting recipes on LinkedIn and Instagram.
Give us an example recipe.
A burger where you've got mashed potatoes, carrots, sweet potato.
Sounds good so far.
So
Where you put it?
and then your beans, you sort of put in your legumes and everything.
Okay.
And then you just bung in a lot of worms into it.
It is.
And then you know, sort of flavour it up with like curry powders and what have you.
Okay.
So you can't taste the actual. Does it have distinct flavours, these insects, or can you
I'll
not
taste the nuts. So if you like nuts, the cricket tastes of like a walnut. Mealworms are quite oaty. Don't really taste of anything. And
You've brought
mealworms
some
in there.
stuff, haven't you? And I'm going to try one.
I'll
Yeah.
try one,
Just so everyone can see our reaction, because we are video on this as well.
This is
this
a live
this
bush
is
tuck
live.
trial.
Okay.
This is literally is a bush tucker
trial, yeah, it is.
Oh my
So-
god. Where's that in there? Right. What are we looking at?
An overcooked flapjack. It's
Okay, I kind of feel better about that.
what?
That
If it
it's
tastes
the
chocolatey
worms,
or-
the worms are cooked through, overcooked. I'd rather have overcooked worms than uncooked worms.
Oh, they're dried. They are dried out. So you purchase them
I'm
dried.
really nervous. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, when
It is hard.
Smells good.
right, I'll try one. You know, my auntie lives in Shanghai, so every time she goes to markets, she finds like, you know, crickets on bloody sticks and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I don't know how someone could do that.
Well,
Really good.
What's it like?
they're nice.
What's the protein content in this then? In like one of these?
I don't know because I can't work it
I
out.
can't taste the worm.
But you won't.
It is really.
Is it
Oh, there it is. There's a worm there. Look.
Pick the worm off and eat it.
And that's the whole thing. If you integrate the insects into like burgers, into flapjacks, into smoothies, you can't taste them. You just can't taste them. And yet that is fortified with cricket powder, and it's got the mealworm, it's got the pistachios, which will have the protein content.
Really chewy.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not
then we have
bad.
it.
Try it. Give it a go. You
So
can start selling this stuff.
that's my long-term aim, that I have get into it, little food range.
It sounds great.
So-
So people
I've
will
had
be able to order,
To be
you'll
fair.
be able to order treats and meals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you'll send it to them.
Yes.
Packed and all that.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that, but initially I'll need to get people kind of used to it. But you can't taste it, can you?
Can't taste it.
Can't taste it. You can just see them.
Yeah. Wow. No, they're really good. So they've got worms and crickets in.
Just mealworm,
Mealworm.
just mealworm, and mealworm have got like the texture of like Rice Krispies.
What are the benefits of eating bugs?
Well, it is a sustainable protein, so it's a high protein source, and it's an alternative protein source. And why is that important? Well, once I looked into the whole edible insect world, and I could see how I can get more protein into my diet quite easily. But then you sort of look at the environmental message,
Yeah.
and we've all sort of heard about climate change.
Carbon footprints and all that.
Yeah. And how livestock.
Cowspiracy, innit? Have you watched that?
What?
Cowspiracy.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that now?
So I've started to eat less meat. I'm like meat-free Mondays and things like that. And if we eat less meat, but then start looking at alternative protein sources, we will be doing our bit to help with climate change as well. So there's an ecological message, environmental message as well as.
People like that these days as well, don't they?
Well, we've got to do
all
something
that.
about it. We can't ignore it.
Yeah. So this is the mission you're on. This is the statement you're trying to make. You're trying to. This is going to be your legacy as such.
Well, the thing is, it's kind of, we can't carry on as we are with climate change. We just can't. By the time it really starts to affect people, I'll be dead, I'll be gone. So it'll be for like your kids that we have to do something now before it just gets a little bit too late.
I think we're already in that stage, aren't we? We're coming into that stage now.
I think people are starting to panic, and just like with the plastic waste that's suffocating our oceans, and we've been a little bit wasteful. We've taken sort of the Earth's resources for granted a little bit,
And
and
then
I
you've got
think
people like Trump going out to the what's the agreements everyone had in the world to cut
oh well,
down
he's
gone
gone
out for
back,
that, hasn't he?
from the Paris Agreement.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, yeah. And then this new guy in Brazil, he's a right wing and he wants to get rid of more the Amazon rainforest for plantations and
Well, if you,
stuff like that.
for people that follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn, I'm also a little bit against palm oil as well because of deforestation.
That's interesting.
So
So you don't need peanut butter or anything, is it?
I know you can get palm oil free
Peanut
peanut
butter.
butter.
So everyone can do a little bit more by maybe exploring different sources of protein. For example, like you're doing with the insects. So if you want some more information about that, research what Tess is doing to get into it. You'll have websites and stuff I imagine in the future. But for now, find you on LinkedIn and
Just
social
slide
media.
me a DM.
Ooh.
Slide your DMs.
That's great.
Tess. I really like them, you know.
They were
I think-
lovely.
Yeah, I would buy them. I really would buy
You
them.
got first
yeah.
customer.
No, that's good to hear because there is a massive yuck factor. You know, if you say insects and like food, people just get like yuck straight away.
Oh yeah,
I
that's,
think
that's my
it's
first reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're very open-minded in that way. in that, you know, we just tried it, but I wasn't like going, "Ugh," and like, you know, doing all that. Well, yeah, I was fine.
I was messing earlier on.
But I was fine with it, so I think he takes it okay.
But you can integrate them like in stir fries, and in the end, the sauce that you do, let's say you have black bean, whatever, oyster sauce, that will be the overriding flavour, so you can't really taste the insects.
Yeah, and how, like, so when you come, you said they're already cooked?
No, they're dried. They're dried.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how, like, is there a certain way you have to cook them before, like, 'cause if you don't, like, you know, with chicken
you
and
just
you
sort of-
undercook them, that you get salmonella. Do you get anything from
Oh
it?
no.
You need
nothing.
bugs raw, can't you? Without any problems.
To tell you the truth, the only ones I've eaten have been the dried sort, because that's the only way I can buy them.
Yeah.
But I will be starting to breed my own.
Oh.
Are you going to try them raw?
Am I going to try them?
Try them raw without them being.
Well, I want to make pâtés out of them.
Interesting.
So for Christmas next year, I want to have like mealworm pâté, and
Don't tell your guests. Just make them eat it.
yeah.
Yeah. Just you
Yeah.
gotta eat that now. Otherwise you're rude not
But the
eating it.
thing is, because they haven't got, they're not that flavourful. I'm not quite sure how it's all going to work.
I'm sure
But
you'll
I'm going to
figure
be
it out.
experimenting in the kitchen.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Tess, thank you so much for coming on the show. Wish we
Yeah,
had
thank
more
you.
time with you today, but I know you need to go and
Tell my haircut.
haircut, yeah, short back and sides. Tess, you've been fantastic and
No, thank you very much.
very knowledgeable on the subject of protein from insects. So I'll definitely be getting some more information from you on that one,
Yeah.
because they were lovely.
One more question. So how long do you think it'll be until you start producing these on a mass scale and selling them to people? Or, and you
I can't think of that at the moment, because I have to do a lot of cooking myself to get to nail a recipe right. So then every time I cook it, I can repeat it every time, because they're a little bit too hard. So once I start to get my own recipes and I can nail them over and over again, then I think that's when I'll start doing the supper clubs, get the word out, and then I'll start doing into it food range.
get some protein into your diet.
Get into it.
Yeah.
There you go.
You just got to get into it.
Shameless plug. Tess, thanks very much for coming
Thank
on
you.
the show today.
Yeah,
We'll have
really
you
interesting.
Back on, definitely. Make sure you subscribe to this show for future episodes and maybe another episode with Tess. You can like, share, leave a review. Any comments, any questions, leave a comment below. Thanks for listening to The
Thank
Bar
you
is
very
Loaded.
much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. It's a wrap.
Can I have another one of them, please?